All right, page 2, let's get after it here. Question number 7. Shapes A and B shown below are similar. So let's talk about that word right there. That means same shape, different size. There are going to be some ratios working together between shapes A and B. The perimeter of shape A is 4 centimeters. Its area is 6 centimeters squared. The perimeter of shape B is 12 centimeters. What is the area of shape B? Let's go ahead and make a table just to help us kind of organize our information here. I'm going to go ahead and make a little two-way table here, and we'll put perimeter here. And we'll put area here. And we'll put shape A here and shape B here. So we're given that the perimeter of shape A is 4 centimeters. And its area is 6 square centimeters. We're given that the perimeter of shape B is 12 centimeters. And here's the one thing I know. The scale factor is the same as the perimeter ratio. So if I look right here, to get from 4 to 12, we multiply by 3. That means our scale factor is 3. Now, when it comes to area ratios, there's a little difference though. The area ratio is not equal to the scale factor. The area ratio is equal to the scale factor squared. So in this case, the area ratio is 3 squared, which is 9. That means to get from the smaller shape area to the larger shape area, I have to multiply by 9. Last time I checked, 9 times 6 was 54. So the answer to this question is shape B has an area of 64 square centimeters. And this is our answer for number 7. Another way that we could have done that is we could have set up a proportion. The area of shape B divided by the area of shape A has to equal 9 over 1. So we could plug in what we know and solve for the area of shape B. Get the same answer. Okay, let's jump now down to question number 8. Mr. Vass orders an 18-inch diameter pizza. It is known as the Gut Buster. It is cut into 8 slices and he eats 5 of them. What is the area of the pizza that he ate? What is the length of the crust on the pizza that he ate? Okay, so there's 2 different skills we're testing here. Number 1 is, can you find the area of a sector of a circle? And number 2, can you find an arc length? First thing I want to do is I want to go back and take a look at the problem. They gave us information about the pizza, and they said we had an 18-inch diameter pizza. So most of the formulas we have for circles, they work in terms of the radius. So I'm going to go right to the radius is 9 inches. And folks, I don't like that squeezed in up there. So I'm going to move that down here with this problem. So we have a radius equals 9 inches, and that comes from the diameter equals 18 inches. We also have information about the ratio, how much pizza he ate. He ate 5 out of 8 pieces. So that's a ratio of 5/8. So let's go now and take a look at sector area. The area of a sector is equal to that ratio times pi r squared. Let's see, 9 squared is 81. 81 times 5, that's 405. So I'm going to have an exact answer here of 405 pi divided by 8 square inches. That number doesn't really mean anything to us. I can't tell you how many Cheez-Its that is because I don't know that fraction times the exact answer of pi. Let's go ahead and substitute in 3.14 as our approximation for pi, and then we grip it and rip it on our calculator, and we get an answer of about 159 square inches. Now I exactly know how much that is. It's about 159 Cheez-Its. All right, let's switch gears now and take a look at the arc length, how much crust we ate. I say we, it was me. I shouldn't try to blame anybody else, it was me. Okay, so the length of the crust is going to be ratio times circumference, 2 pi r. So I have that 5/8 ratio because we ate 5 out of 8 pieces, times 2 pi times the radius of 9 inches. So let's see this one. I got 2 times 9, that's 18. I got 18 times 5, that's 90. So I have 90 pi over 8 inches. Well, 90 over 8, I think I can reduce that. I can divide, both of those are even numbers, so I can divide them both by 2. 90 divided by 2 is 45. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this becomes 45 pi over 4 inches. Now you only have to, these two answers, either of these two, let me go ahead and highlight them, either this guy or this guy. You only have to leave it like that if you're asked for the exact answer. If you're not asked for the exact answer, then you can go ahead and plug in 3.14 for pi and get an approximation here of 35.3 inches. So there's our answer. We have an exact one. And exact also means in terms of pi. Because I left the pi symbol in, I didn't substitute in the approximation of 3.14, and this we would call the approximate answer. If you're not specified in a problem which answer to give, you can do either one, whatever you're most comfortable with. You can use the pi button on your calculator instead of 3.14 if you'd like. Okay, but if you're asked for exact, you better leave the pi symbol in your answer. If you're asked for approximate, make sure you substitute 3.14 for pi. Okay, let's move on. One more problem here. Calculate the area of the shaded region. Not going to lie to you, folks. There's one of these problems on every Chapter 8 test, and many students struggle with it. Okay, so we have a shaded area here. It's not a sector. Okay, if the shaded area was this entire thing, we would call it a sector. But what we have is a larger sector, subtract out a smaller sector. Okay, we're going to subtract out the white space. So let's see how we do that. The first thing we have to figure out here is, what is our ratio? Well, the ratio is going to be 70 over 360 because I have 70 degrees out of 360. If I wanted to, I could simplify that and write it as 7 out of 36. I can't simplify it any more than that. But that's the ratio, either 70 out of 360 or 7 over 36. But then I have to think about the radius. Okay, I have really parts of two different circles. I have part of a large circle here that has a radius of 6, and I'm going to call that R2. And then I have part of a smaller circle here where the radius is 3. I'm going to call that R1. Okay, so I have all the pieces of information I need now to start constructing a solution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to format it like this. I'm going to say the area that we're looking for is equal to the big sector minus the small sector. So I'm going to, again, just to kind of visualize this, I'm going to find this total area, and then I'm going to subtract out this area. Okay? And as far as formulas go, this is going to be equal to ratio times pi times R2 squared. Okay, why R2? Because that's the area, that's the radius of the larger circle. And I'm going to subtract from that ratio times pi times R1 squared. And again, I want to highlight something here. Remember, this is the formula for the area of a sector. It's that ratio times pi r squared. And this is also that same formula, but it's for a different sector. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in what we know. The ratio is 7 out of 36 times pi times R2 squared. Insert Star Wars joke here. Minus 7 out of 36 times pi times R1 squared. Okay, so there's a number of ways you could do this. Right now, if you wanted to, you just plug this entire thing into your calculator. Because I want to show you a little bit more about numbers, I'm going to show you some things that you can actually do if you were working on this without a calculator. And here's one thing I notice. I got this and this in both of these, so I could factor that out. And again, if at this point you start to get lost when I start talking about factoring, then just go ahead and plug that bad boy into your calculator. But if you want to learn a little bit more about numbers and have a little bit better number sense, let's take a look at this. I can factor that out as 7 pi over 36. And I'm going to have 6 squared, which is 36, minus 3 squared, which is 9. So this will then simplify to 7 pi over 36 times 27. 36 minus 9 is 27. When you multiply that out, you're going to get an answer like this. 7 times 27, let's see, that's 189. So I have 189 pi over 36. And what are our units here? Well, it's square units. Okay, we don't know if they're square inches or square centimeters or square miles. Okay, now I know this. 36 is divisible by 9. So is 189. Okay, so 189 divided by 9 is 21. And 36 divided by 9 is 4. So that's my final exact answer. I reduced it to simplest form. If you would like to see that as an approximate answer, you can substitute in 3.14 for pi, and you're going to get something about 16.49 square units. And again, folks, I went through a little bit extra there to just kind of show you a little bit about how the numbers work, because I think that's important. It is a math class after all. I don't want to just completely ignore numbers. At this point, if you got to this point of the problem, and you're like, yep, I understand everything he did up to right here, then just go ahead and plug that into your calculator and give yourself an approximate answer of 16.49. The rest was just a little bit of bonus number work for you folks. All right, folks, you know the truth about practice tests. These were practice test problems, and they are very similar to the actual test problems. You will see those soon. Good luck to you.